From KUNC and the NPR network, this is In the NOCO, a daily slice of Northern Colorado news and happenings. It's Tuesday, May 21st. I'm Erin O'Toole. Danielle SeeWalker is a Hunkpapa Lakota artist living and working in Denver. Her work incorporates traditional Native American materials and themes. This past January, she was approached and offered a residency by the town of Vail. The residency would have included SeeWalker creating a public mural. However, on May 9th, town officials backed out on that plan. They stated concern about the politicization of their public art program. Vail officials pointed to SeeWalker's recent social media posts sharing a painting she had created. That painting was titled G is for Genocide. It's a statement on the situation in Gaza. The painting depicts a person wearing a keffiyeh, a traditional Palestinian scarf, as well as a braid, a feather, and other traditional Native American imagery. The rescinded offer became a social media firestorm for both SeeWalker and the town. Vail released another statement on May 14th. They apologized for inconveniencing SeeWalker, but they also defended their decision, saying they could not, quote, support messaging that targets one group of residents or guests over another, end quote. Today, we hear my interview with artist Danielle SeeWalker that we recorded late last week. Danielle, welcome to In the NOCO.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
I want to start off by talking about the specific artwork that is at the heart of this. What was the inspiration behind G is for Genocide?
Yeah, well, first, I just want to say that this particular piece had nothing to do with the town of Vail. It was never presented to the town of Vail, had nothing to do with the residency I was going to be participating in. But this particular piece was created at the end of February for a group show that I was participating in here in Denver, Colorado. And it was really inspired by things that were on my mind in that moment, and I guess continue to be on my mind as it relates to what's happening in Gaza and the West Bank and civilian Palestinians, and really drawing parallels to sort of what I've been told, stories about my people, my ancestors, as it relates to genocide. Just a lot of parallels there. And that piece was really inspired kind of by those topics.
So when you were creating this work, did you worry or give any thought to what the reception would be?
Not at all. And I guess when I create art in general, I never really think about what other people think. I create it for myself. I create it based on what I'm thinking, feeling, emotions. And so this particular piece was just something that was on my mind. My feed and social media news was just filled with these really graphic and traumatic imagery of people being hurt and displaced. And it really just was on my mind. And that's how that piece became what it is today.
And do you feel that what you're expressing in G for Genocide is consistent with your other works?
100% it is. People that know my work, that know me, know that I am pretty vocal about bringing to light a lot of topics and themes as it relates to my identity as a Native American woman. I come from a family, particularly my dad, who was very vocal and always told me, Danielle, if you don't speak up, nobody will speak up for you. And so I've always sort of pocketed that. And it's very much a theme in my artwork, talking and telling stories from a Native American perspective.
I understand there is a long history of Native Americans feeling a connection to the Palestinian people. How do you see that relationship?
Yeah, I absolutely see that. I was literally earlier this week was at the Aurora campus here in Denver. The Native American student body hosted a community feed and in honoring of support of the Palestinians that are here local, but just kind of in commemorating all the Palestinians that are suffering today. And it's something that I share with a lot of Native American community members who sort of sympathize with what's going on over there, because we've all suffered here in this country with similar attempts at cultural genocide.
I want to come back to kind of what was happening now. You mentioned in an interview with Westword that the offer from Vail about their artist in residence program was rescinded about 30 days out from the start of the residency, and that you had everything planned and ready to go. I want to ask what you were planning for your residency. Had you begun to design a mural?
Yes, absolutely. The residency invitation initially started with the invitation to come in and paint a mural right in Vail Village. And from there, I was talking back and forth with Molly Eppard, who's the coordinator of the arts and public places for the town of Vail. And she really worked alongside of me to make a very robust residency that included not only the mural, but also a art workshop that I was going to engage with the youth and community, as well as an exhibition, and then participating in the Vail Symposium by giving a talk.
What were some of the themes in the mural design that you were planning?
Yeah, so I was supposed to pitch the mural design to the board the first week of May. And really, the theme was inspired by the colors that I saw when I did a site visit in the town of Vail. But I wanted to incorporate nature and our plant, animal, four-legged relatives that you see in that particular area, as well as floral work. But really with a twist in a design inspired by my culture, using geometric symbols and cultural kind of aesthetic of artwork.
Well, Danielle, the town of Vail has offered an apology. They have offered to discuss reimbursement with you, and they've suspended their public art program for the moment. I want to know what kind of resolution you're hoping for.
Well, I do want to clarify that the town of Vail has not reached out to me personally. I've reached out to them via email, and I've not gotten a response. And so that is a false statement. They have not reached out to me to give me an apology. I know they've published something on their social media, but to me, that's not coming to me for an apology or trying to find a solution together.
What would kind of make this right, or what would start to make it right, if anything? What kind of resolution would you hope for?
I think I've accomplished what I set out to accomplish, and that is really just talking about how this is continuing to happen. And when I say this, I mean silencing of artwork, silencing of artists, censoring Native American, people of color as it relates to creativity. You know, I was really inspired and drawn to their residency offer by reading about what their residency stood for. And that was all about diversity and bringing in diverse artists to their community to have sort of a cultural exchange. And just sort of reflecting back on how all of this went down, that's not at all what they stand for. And that's the most disappointing part. And the fact that I didn't even get to have a conversation with them to seek to understand where they're coming from, or really have a respectful professional conversation. But I am really excited that the Vail Symposium, which is a standalone organization outside of the town of Vail, has continued to hold their commitment to me coming there and participating in a talk next month in June. And so I am really excited for that opportunity to still be able to come into the community, talk about my artwork, what I stand for as a Native American woman, and really engage with the community members that were excited to have me part of that community.
Well, Danielle, let me ask you, will this experience change your work or change you as an artist?
No, I don't think so at all. I have always focused on creating art based on what I'm feeling, thinking, what inspires me. And I never apologize or regret putting any type of artwork out there. If anything, this will just inspire me to create even more beautiful pieces.
Danielle SeeWalker, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
That's it for us today here on In the NOCO. I'm Erin O'Toole. Thank you so much for listening.